Do it again. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to El Cockerel. I was waiting for Spurs diehards to finish off before I started, so I have started slightly later than what I anticipated, but I did want to go after Adrian's show over there. So yeah, good evening to everyone again, and it was just a reminder, and we'll talk a bit of football, we'll talk about whatever you want, and a bit of football, and also um, talk about the competitions that we're running because some of you already entered, and I'm trying to grab people before the season starts because the season starts on Friday, and and it doesn't matter how many times you tell people. What'll end up happening is that people will end up turning up saying, "Well, where are the competitions? Where are they?" And that, and then when they enter it, they've missed a week. So with the FPL, the Fantasy Premier League, if you don't enter the league the first week, then your points don't count. So you're already behind everyone with 1 week's worth of points. So at the end of the day, this is just putting out shows just to remind people. Just to remind people, I don't know, my dog's barking again, man. Just to remind people to start. Now, for the people that have entered the Predict the Premiership, if I'm right, you should have all received emails today reminding you about the fixtures because I received an email today from Predict the Prem to tell me to remind me to do the predictions. So if I've received it, it must mean that you guys are receiving them as well. So it shows that works. So that's good. So you're all aware of what the competitions are, but I will go into it in a second. Let me say hello to people that are here with us at the moment. So you've got Talk and Ball saying, don't forget to clickety clack the like button. I've got a feeling they might still be in the back room after the show is finished on Spurs Diehards because Colin said he was going to join me tonight. Mark Cook says, I have clickety clacked. Good evening, Mark. I hope you're well. Chris Peter says, I always clickety clack. Good evening, Chris. I hope you're well. You're well, sir. David Shear, woohoo, smashed it. Now sitting on it. Thank you very much, David, and good morning to you, my friend. Um, Graham, evening, Jose. Good evening, Graham. I hope you're well, sir. And there's a whole load of you saying hello to each other. Ryan G, evening, Jose in the chat, and then you're all saying hello to each other. Then so good evening, Peter. Good morning, Peter. Peter Kagaya saying hi, all 7:18 in Melbourne. I said to you, it's the Aussies' morning, their morning fix. So they get up in the morning and they catch everybody. They catch everybody when all the Tottenham channels are on when they get up in the morning, rather than having to catch channels when they go to sleep. So yeah, welcome to our Australian friends and sponsors of the show. I've got to say that again. The people that keep the show sponsored all the time seem to be well, not seem to be because you all sponsor it, but the major contributors, and they don't mind me saying this, are Peter, David, and Tigaro. So it's the threesome from down under. Um, what else you got here? You've got G'day coming in. G'day, Chris Cover. G'day to me. Yep. It's a g'day to everyone. Most important, Jose. Favorite page 3 back in the day. I'll start that. We can do. We can ask them questions. There's a few of you answering it already. Some people may not even remember who page 3 was. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see because some people just ain't gonna have a clue, are they? So um, Chris Peters is answering already. He's saying Linda Lusardi, and Mark Cook is saying Sam, and I presume that is Sam Fox. So I presume Mark Cook's saying. And Peter is talking to Ryan. Right, so the competitions, for those of you that have just joined and have not joined the competitions yet, although I think the majority of you have, like David Shear, I know you haven't. I think Peter may not have either at the moment joined. But for those of you that haven't joined, it's really easy because the links are on the community page. And as I said, you would have got your first email today. Predict the Premiership would have sent out an email today. We're still doing the shows on a Friday, so where I'll be doing the manual predictions, and I score that differently to what the online one is. And the show on Friday, it starts at 3:30, so I'm going half an hour earlier. And the reason why I'm going half an hour earlier is because it's the first week of the season. Don't know how many people are going to be doing it. I don't presume it's going to take that long to do it because we ain't going to have 120 people doing it off the bat from the first week. But I've started it. I'm going to start the show half an hour earlier, and that's so a lot of the people from our Australian contingent have an opportunity to enter the one on Friday live. But what I will say for the Australian contingent, if it's too late for you, even at 3:30, 3:30 makes it 10:30, 11:30 at night for yourselves. If that is too late, then what I'll accept from you guys is I'll accept you guys putting yours in, because the stream's already been set up on YouTube. So if you want to go and leave them in the comments section because you can't make the show, then leave them there. Daniel Coy's saying, I like most of them. They all had nice fruity bits. Daniel, what I'll say to you is that when you said that you weren't going to be able to do everything and at these competitions because you keep forgetting, today on Predict the Prem, emails went out to people to remind people that that the fixtures and predict the Prem was this week. So it does send you out an email. So you wouldn't have to forget at all. It does send you out an email. And with the Fantasy Premier League, so many people are doing Fantasy Premier League that you can't but help know that the Fantasy Premier League's on. Ah, look who I've got here. He must be on a night shift. Grant Packham. Grant, for those of you that don't know, are you on the night shift, Grant? I think you are. For those of you that don't know, Grant plays football with me in one of my Friday. I play twice on a Friday, 2 groups, but Grant plays in one of my Friday groups, and he's joined. He's subscribed to the channel. So well done, Grant. And yeah, I presume you're on the night shift. So anyway, I'm going to start just by showing people around. So for the people that haven't entered at the moment, we have on the community page, all this can be found on the community page, but you have Predict the Prem, and Predict the Prem is, or can I highlight it, like where I've highlighted it there? Yeah, that is Predict the Prem. So all you do is you enter the you go to the link to Premier League Predictor Football, and once you go into that, you enter the code which is there. Yeah, so you go to Premier League, take you there, Predictor Football, and you enter the code, and that'll take you to LTEL Cockerel, the league that we've got running. And then the league that we've got running looks something like, if I can get it up, and I mean by that I mean the scores. Nothing. Let me see. Yeah. So yeah, Grant supports Brighton because I live down on the south coast, and Brighton is a local club to us. It's 30 odd miles away from where I live, and Grant supports Brighton. For those that want, I think it's Chris Peters is asking the question. Are you, Grant? Asking who you support. All right, here we go. So, Predict the Prem. So if I stop that screen and present again. So when you go into the link and you enter the code, you will come to a page that looks like this. And in this, you then just put your predictions in. It's easy to do. You just put your predictions in and it automatically totals everything up for you. And yeah, it's easy. I mean, I mess around with it. And you just got to remember that whatever you do, you can always change the scores as long as the game hasn't kicked off. So on Predict the Prem, you can change the scores as long as the game hasn't kicked off. So it's easy to do, and you get emailed every week to remind you. Yeah, it remains to be. Yeah, you can always, but we won't forget this because you do get sent. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat on my other screen, and I'm pissing myself laughing. Right, so you will receive an email every week telling you that what you did the week before. It'll tell you your points, and then after that, after telling you about your points, it sends you an email out every week to remind you you've got to do them. So if you go into it, then that's how you get into it. And what we have at the moment, I don't think anyone's joined tonight yet. So we've got 25 people that have joined and are in the league. So yeah, at the end of the day, you're all more than welcome to enter. And as I said, the league is quite easy to join. You just go to the Airtel Cockerel community page, and on that community page, you will find the link and the code. So it's highlighted there, the link and the code. Yeah. I'm gonna do you know what? I'm looking on two screens because I'm trying to deliver this, and at the same time, I'm seeing what Grant's writing, and he's making me laugh because he's talking absolute cackamundo, but he's making me laugh anyway. Right, the next one. Let me just highlight this. And highlight the second one, so we know what we're doing there. So that's how to enter the Premier League predictions, right? And the next one to enter is on the community page again, right? You can't go wrong. It's on the community page, and I've highlighted it. And on the community page, there is the Fantasy Premier League for Airtel Cockerel. Grant, you can join Airtel Cockerel League if you want as well, because this is our channel one. And since you're a member, you can join the league as well, mate. So yeah, if you go join the league, that's how it do it. Go Fantasy Premier League, and you've got the code there. For those that don't play Fantasy Premier, or it's the first time of doing it, all you need to do is go into that link, and once you've gone into that link, you will end up having to pick a team of 15 players. So your 15 players can only cost £100 million. You only get £100 million to spend. You can only select 3 players from one team. Yeah, 3 players from one team only you can select, right? And you have to select 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 strikers. And once you selected your 15, you can go into leagues. And once you go into leagues, you just press you go into leagues, right? It say to you join or create a new league. So you join and create a new league, then you say join in the League Cup, join an invitational League Cup, and then you enter the code. And once you enter the code there, it will enter your team in the code. Sorry, it'll enter your team into the league. And with that Airtel Cockerel League, we currently have quite a few players. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. We've either got 38 or 39. 38 or 39 already in the league. Grant, I'm showing it all on screen. It's on my community page. It's on my community page. But I think Ryan's just put the code there for you so you can see it. Right. And now I'm going to catch up with the chat because I want to see what Grant's been saying. Right. Oh, Grant is a piss taker. I want to see what he's been saying. you're on a little bit of overtime. So what does that mean? You're working the night shift tonight, then, Grant? I think that's what it means. You must be working the night shift tonight. Grant, is Jose as good as he says he is? Do I ever say that I'm that good? I say that I play football, but yeah, Grant said evening all. Here we go. What was evening, Grant? How does it feel to play football with Jose Eltel Iniesta? Grant says he supports Brighton. Johnny Bethnal Green, have you started on your trip to the Basque region yet, or are you still here in England? And when are you? I know. I think you told me. Does your trip start Friday, Johnny? I think your trip starts Friday. Grant says it's a good laugh. He plays like a target man, and he's normally knackered after the first game. I do play 2 games, and yeah, it does take a lot out of me playing 2 games. I will say that. And we both love a shoulder barge. Grant, I think you need to start telling the truth here now. I think spot on. He says, I think you need to start telling the truth. What's he saying? And he's basically in my pocket most Friday nights. Grant, you're getting away with murder. Oh, yeah. Could be Jose Solanke. What does it say? It's David saying. Damn signing hates my email. Damn you, sir. You love me, do you? I think you need to start telling the truth. Yeah. What else you got in spot, Mark? So the code has been given to you. What does he say here? Grant, does Jose play the Ange system? Daniel Coy says, are you in his pocket or not, Jose, mate? Listen, I think he's talking out of his backside, but I shouldn't be saying that. I shouldn't be saying that with because he is at the end of the day he's a subscriber. So really, you got to treat your subscribers, and like I said, the customer's always right. So I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to say, but I don't think the code's there, Grant. YYFMNS, and that gets you in. I don't run these days, says David. See, I speak to David all the time about my football exploits playing, because David is a similar age to me. Grant Packen, he's in mine, and plays like Ryan Mason ball. Oh my lord. You're definitely not in yesterday, then, Jose, mate. Oh, Jose. Jose, joking, man. You joking, Jose, man. You go well, just taking the piss. No, that's fine. And I don't mind you. Friday 4 a.m. you start out, do you, Johnny? I don't know what you want to do then, John, because we've got the predictions for not only predict the Prem, mate, but we've got the prediction show on Friday. So what I think you can do, because the stream's already set up, if you want to leave me your predictions, for the manual one that we do on a Friday show, Johnny, then if you go into YouTube and go to Eltel Cockerel, you'll see that it's already set up, and you can already post a comment on there, and you can send me post a comment on there, and I'll be able to see your predictions if you want to do it. Who else we got here? We got Grant. Let me see what Grant's saying now. And when through on goal, he has these random ticks and shouts at you. No. I'll tell you what I do there so everyone understands. You got Lily White Rain, Robbie saying big up. Good evening, Robbie. I hope you're well. Ryan G says people who haven't got memberships, turn on memberships and you'll most likely receive one. It's true. If you turn it on, you probably receive a membership. Ian Meff says good evening. Good evening, Ian. Tony from Early Doors Football TV is saying good evening, Jose. Good evening, mate. DJ Samuel, good evening, sir. I hope you're well. Says just joined the Football League. So Daniel Coys is saying, so I guess you're more like Morata than you are David Villa, mate. Oh, listen, right. So for the couple of people who've just joined, Ian, Meth, and Tony, I'm not sure whether you're interested. I would rather hope that you were, because it's quite good fun. But what I've got here is I've got a FPL that I'm running on Eltel Cockerel, Fantasy Premier League, and you just go into it's on my community page. The link is there to enter the fantasypremierleague.com, and then the code is on my community page, and you can enter a team into the Airtel Cockerel Fantasy Premier League. So if you want to enter, there's that. And I've also got a new online predictions, Predict the Prem, that we're doing. And predicting the Prem, the link is there and the code is there to join. And what that then looks like is Predict the Prem, or Predict the Football Prem, as they call it. It's a self-serving. Okay, it's self-serving. It's a self-serving site that you go in and you enter your. There we go. You enter your result, your scores that you think for the week, and then it does everything else for you. So that's what it looks like. And at the moment, we have 25 people. So no one's entered as yet tonight, but most of you that are watching this are already entered. So Grant, you enter this one as well. I want to see what you Brighton mugs have got to say. You know the score. I keep telling you every Friday. So right, and then we've got present again, and then you've got the Fantasy Premier League that we've got, and that is, it's as easy as entering. So you go into the link, Fantasy Premier League. David, the Fantasy Premier League would probably be easy for you to join because they don't turn people away because of their email. So you go into it, you enter, you put the code, you enter the league, but you've got to pick 15 players. You've got to have a squad of 15, 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, 3 attackers. You can't have more than 3 players from each team. This lineup that I've got at the moment is one that I've picked just to get to the 100 million, but this could well change before we start the season off. I just wanted to show people how it works. And once you've picked your lineup, you go into leagues and cups, and then you press create or join the league, then join a league cup, and then join league invitational and enter your league code. Once you've entered your league code, you will get into the league. So Grant has just joined, and so has Samuel McConkey has just joined as well. Pub King, and so South we French. So I think that takes us up to 41 teams now in the Airtel Cockerel. And then, as I said already, every Friday at 4 o'clock, or it's starting at 3:30 this Friday, we will do the predictions league that I did before, where we do it on a Friday at 3:30 live. I'll put up each fixture, and I'll ask the people in the chat to give me the score. And then what I'll do is I manually enter it onto a spreadsheet, and then we do that on a weekly basis. The only difference with Predict the Prem, which is online, and this one that I do on Friday live, is that the scoring is different. The scoring is completely different. So how do you join the prediction league, Grant? Right, Grant, if you know how to use are you on a computer or are you on your phone? Right, I just showed you people how to do it. So, right, hit that, Grant. Go to that one. Right, if you go to that, that link there, and then what you do is once you've got there, and you enter the code for the league, and the code for the league is right. Right. And then the code is there. So I've given you the link to Predict the Prem and the code for Predict the Prem. Yeah, that's how you to get into that one. And to join fantasy football, you go. To enter the fantasy football, you go, and then right, let me just get this done, and then we've got you all sorted, and then I don't have to talk about it anymore for you guys. Right, copy that one. StreamYard Studios, there we go. Right, and you enter the code. Right, David, if it doesn't like you, you must be entering it wrong then somehow, because if it's not allowing you to do it. Right, let me just go back here. Right, you got Tony and you got people saying you're going to sort out tomorrow, Tone. Okay, mate. Well, as I said, they're both on the community page. It's just that I know tomorrow's Wednesday and Fridays don't half catch up quick, and people need to be reminded that Friday is the date that the Premiership starts. It starts with Man United Fulham. Is it Man United Fulham? I think it's Man United Fulham. It starts on Friday night anyway. I'll be playing football, but it starts on Friday night. Does he play in Timberlands, Grant? Um, right, what's he saying? More like Crocs than anything. Right. Side Dancer, good evening, Side Dancer. I hope you're well. He says, evening, everyone. Chris has put Tony's link out there. He is a West Ham supporter, but he's got a really good channel as well. And he's a good friend of our channels. So, yeah, go and sub to Tony. If you haven't already subscribed, follow Jose. Let's get him to 600. Oh, so now we're doing right. Peter subscribed to you, which is good. Crocs 90s is what Grant is saying. Grant, I'm gonna have to respond back to you in a second. But I just need to catch up with the chat because you're completely throwing me off by being here. You're welcome, my pleasure. Right, how do you join the league? I've just told you. Daniel says, yeah, give Tony a subscribe. He's a good guy, I guess. And there's the links and the codes to enter the prediction. And there is the link and code for the fantasy. And you're saying that you're in the prediction league. Right, Grant, shall we play a little game, right? Let's play a little game for all the subscribers. Right, we'll play a little game. Destiny 5's here. Good evening, Destiny. Destiny, AJ's here as well. Good evening, AJ. Right, for those of you, Destiny, you haven't entered yet. Do you want to enter the Fantasy Premier League, Destiny, and the Predict the League? If you do, I've got it up here to make it easier. I've got the link a bit further up, so that gets you into Predict the League, and then the code for the Predict the League is there. And if you're going to do fantasy, I've put it near the link for the entering it, and also the code for. What are you in? You're in the Fantasy League, Destiny, right? Okay. What's your team name, Destiny, in the fantasy? But I was going to say into the predictions as well, because some people are in here, and I don't know who these people are. Okay, yeah, I found you. Destiny 5, your Koi's 5. Okay, fair enough. I got you. Right, Grant, we're going to play a little game, right? And we're going to play a little game. Grant, can you tell people when you do play and we're on opposing teams what it is you do to me every game? Or what is it you try to do to me every game? Just let's play a little game and let's play a game called Truth. Yeah. Shouldn't be difficult. It's called Truth. You know, when we were kids and we were taught to tell the truth by the people that guided us when we were kids. Well, let's play that game now, right? So, when I'm playing and you're on an opposing side, what is it that you try to do every time that you play against me? And let's see if you can answer that one. Just love, just a love tap, nothing serious. A love tap. Okay, right. So you're not even getting half a truth in. It's not even quarter of a truth. Right. I'll enlighten the chat. Right. Just so they know. Right. Just so they know. Grant, when he's on an opposing team, goes for Jose. He doesn't go for the ball. It doesn't matter where the ball is. He doesn't go for the ball. He goes for Jose. Now, whether it's a kick, whether it's a nudge, whether it's a push, and that, it's always Jose. Never ever does he go for the ball. There's nothing I can't. I can't even turn around and say that he tackles me. He does, but he does it in such a way that if we had referees, he would have got carded and he probably would have got sent off. uh, right, look at that. If you was a player and football manager, your balance attribute would be free. Oh, right, Edem. Sorry, just to catch up, Edem. What you do, mate, is if you do the predict, right? So there's 3 competitions, Edem, right? And sorry, I'm laughing because Grant's now telling me the game's gone soft. Listen, the game. I'll talk about it in a minute. Edem, right? So what it is, mate, is on the predict league, you have to predict the results every week, right? It's self-serving, so you just go in, you just click them, and they'll go in automatically. But what you will receive is you'll receive an email reminder every week to remind you of what you scored the week before, and to remind you that you've got to do this week's ones. So you won't forget. You'll always get reminded by email. And with the Fantasy Premier League, the Fantasy Premier League reminds you as well after the game week is finished, it then reminds you as well. So you'll always be reminded, Ed, always be reminded that you've got, that if you want to enter, that then you can do them. But equally as important as the 2 competitions that I've got, them 2 competitions, is the one that we do on a Friday, which is the one that I do. Which is the one I do live on the show on Friday, and I just score that differently. So the points scoring will be differently. So I ask everyone to join the show on Friday at 3:30, and we'll do the predictions there as well. For the people that can't join the show on Friday, I will accept your predictions if you put them in at the end of the show in the comment section, or if you can't make at the end of if you put it in on at the end of the day, I can catch up with it all. Yeah. Grant says the game's gone soft. Nice firm grip. There is gripping. There is gripping. Right. Listen. At the end of the day, all I've got to say, Grant, is if we had a referee, right? If we had a referee, proper referee refereeing the games, right? Then you would be you would have been sent off ages ago. You would have been sent off ages ago. Tony says Jose will sort out fantasy. Got to go early start. Catch you soon, Coys. Tony, thank you very much, mate. Enter both of them. Enter both of them. And then it says everyone in the chat, big up and respect you all. Catch you all later. Thanks for the comments. And then you've got loads of people saying goodbye. It's not Ryan that's leaving. It's Tony that's leaving. Grant. Ed M's going to give it a go. Big up early. Daniel Coys is saying, Jose, you got a bit of Spanish blood in you. You sure you weren't diving their normal challenges, mate? Listen, let me tell you, right? Honestly, you'd piss yourself. Like, there's a few of them, right? I don't foul anyone, right, when I play. I don't even right. I don't even go in really, really, really hard because at the end of the day, the one thing I respect is that we've all got work, we've all got a living to make and stuff like that. So there's no going out breaking people's legs and that. But there are some that play against me who shall not be named. Well, there's a few. There's about 3 of them. There's about 3 of them that play against me. And if I'm on opposing sides to them, then no, actually there's 4 of them. There's 4 of them. There's 4 of them that if I'm on an opposing side, when you're talking about doing someone, they come out to do me. I won't say that the person here is the worst, right? But he he never tackles fairly, and he always lumps me, tries to lump me in the ear all the time. But I've got others that when you're going for headers and that, they leave their elbow in your face, right? And you know, at the end of the day, and there's others as well that kick you back of your calves, kick the back of your calves before the ball's even got there, or they're nudging you, elbowing you in the ribs and stuff like that. So on a Friday, I do take a bit of a pasting and a battering, but it's all enjoyable. I do enjoy it. So, and I enjoy the camaraderie and all that. And I also enjoy when you turn around to people and say, "Look, the ball's there, but you're booting me up in the air," and then they turn around and say, "Hee," and then you think to yourself, "There's no point saying anything because they're just going to continue doing it." But one day, if I turn to play like I did when I was younger, then I would be you'd be people having needing spaceships to go and bring them back down to Earth again. They'd be sending spaceships from the floor upwards to bring these people back down to Earth after I've booted them all up in the air. But I don't do it. When I was younger, I did. When I was younger, I used to go around the pitch and I can play, but I used to go and put myself about. I don't put myself about now because, as I said, I understand that people have got livings, people have got families and stuff like that, and you know it's not a professional game that we're playing. So at the end of the day, yeah, there's a balance to be found. But some people, Grant, and some of the others, for the people. So I'd say Alan Hoddy, Grant, uh, Johnny W, and Mike Jones are the ones that always come out to batter me if they're against me. So, but there we go. Anyway, let's move on. Destiny 5 says, I love leaving a mark on someone, but there is a limit. They only attack the R9s, Jose. Fair play. Ryan says they don't know. They know they can't give Romulo Garcia any space. Says at least you can take it on the chin, Jose. You'll get your revenge. And Ryan says when I was playing on a Sunday morning, still pissed out of my head, I was a right dirty centre back. To be fair, wow. Jose and his hit list is what Dozier says. Right. Grant says, off my break now, fella. I'll jump on if you're still on later. Nice to meet you all. Love the football community here. Yeah, Grant, listen, mate, take care. And what I'll say to you, Grant, in your on your profile for YouTube or whatever, switch it on to accept gifts because you could be gifted a membership because some people are gifting out memberships and they're not going to people because people have not switched that function on. So if I'll just remind a lot of people if you haven't done it already, turn your gifting on, and if you turn your gifting on, you may receive a membership. But there we go. Thank you very much, Grant, and I'll catch up with you. Are you playing Friday? Anyway, I didn't even ask if he was playing this Friday. But with the pace and the left foot, like VDV, Ryan G says. David said, good to meet you, Grant Cobber. Mark Cook says, mind you, Jose, the old days were the best for getting stuck in. Mark, listen, I could mix it with everyone when I was younger. And these people haven't seen me do that because I don't go out and do it when I play now. I don't go out and do it. Even if I get rolled up, I don't go out and do it. Do you know what I mean? And there's nobody. I've been playing down in now Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I've played 11 asides and everything. I've been playing for about the last 4 years down there, and not once have I lost my rag or gone back to someone for retribution. At the end of the day, if people if people want to, you know, hoof you and stuff like that, then that's their lookout. But I don't bother. It don't bother me at all. So I just don't go out after anyone. Um, Hold on, let me just have a look because he sent me a photograph and I don't know what the photograph is. I don't know whether I can share the photo. No, I ain't going to be able to share the photograph on my phone to this. I ain't that technically minded. Right, what have you done, Mr. Grant Packham? He sent me a photograph. I'll describe the photograph. He sent me a photograph. So he's obviously at work. He's got a gaming laptop. It looks like one of them demon gaming laptops. I can't remember the name of them. My son's got one of these. That's why I know it's a gaming laptop. And he's sitting down. He's got me on the screen, and he's eating a Marks and Spencer's chicken and bacon layered salad. How's that? How's that for explaining it, Grant? He sent me a picture. So yeah, Grant, enjoy your night shift, mate. And I will see you hopefully if you're playing Friday. I'll see you Friday. Just going to the Friday group. Friday night football. No. There's the other group. Right. All I've got to do is view the votes, and if I view the votes, I'll see if Grant's playing. Grant's not playing Friday. Right, Grant's not playing Friday, so that probably means he's working, which means that's one person, this person to kick me on Friday, which is superb. I'm happy with that. Grant, you can't kick me on Friday. Although you probably send an WhatsApp message to one of your other mates and get them to kick me instead, eh? I've just seen it. I've just seen it. Ryan, big up Grant, mate. Good to see you in here. Adrian, good evening, Jose et al. Adrian, you're another one that hasn't entered the predictions or the predict the Prem of Fantasy. If you're interested, I can share the stuff with you again. David says, I used to play under 19s Aussie rules on Saturday, then seniors the next day. Those were the days. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you and I speak all the time, David. And for me, I'm fortunate enough, still fortunate enough that my body allows me to go out and play football 4 times a week. But the only thing I will say is that, like I say to you on the phone, David, is that with me and with everybody, what ends up happening is the hardest thing in the world is to go and do things as you're getting older. But it's a case. It's all in the head, in your head, because it's about pushing yourself. You know, at the end of the day, you've finished. You've had a hard day's graft, or you've had a really bad day and stuff like that, and then you just can't be asked to do it. And like I say to you when I speak to you, I mean, for me, I try to do 10,000 steps a day, even on the days that I'm not playing football. I try to get 10,000 steps a day, and what I end up doing is I end up either going out early in the morning for a walk, big long walk, or if I can find time within meetings, I'll go for short walks just to get steps up, do short walks, or if not, straight after work, I'll go before eating or cooking tea or dinner or whatever, I'll go out and take a walk then. And if I haven't been able to do nothing in the whole day, I'll go out at the night time. When it comes to 10, 11 o'clock in the evening, I'll go out and take a walk then. Anything to get the 10,000 steps in, because you've got to push yourself. It's all in your head, and you've got to push yourself. And if you don't push yourself, you'll never get it done. So, like I said, I'm fortunate enough that I do push myself and that I want to play football. And, you know, I want to make sure that I get my 10,000 steps. And what to everybody, I mean, I don't have to tell you, David, because I speak to you all the time, but what I say to everybody is your health is a one time gig. It's important. And, you know, it's important to do what you think is right for your mind, your body, and your soul. Yeah. David says, I'll be real. If someone tries to take me out in a football, they better succeed because they ain't leaving the pitch if they don't. As I said, mate, Dan, right? I won't even tell you. If I could get people on here that know me from when I played when I was younger, right, and let them tell you the stories about me, you'd be absolutely what? Really? Nah, because yes, it was like that when I was younger. But you know, as I said, it's a mindset change. I mean, I want to win every time I play, and that, but I won't do it by going out and fouling and kicking people up in the air and stuff like that. It's not the way that I'm going to go and do it. So you know, at the end of the day, the mind shift's changed. And as I said, people can boot you and they can lump you up in the air and that, but you know, at the end of the day, you mug them off in other ways now. I don't have to go back and get retribution. You just mug them off in other ways. So, no, he's on another night shift. Later, fellas. Milton's here. Good evening. Sorry. Yeah. Good morning to you, Milton. Love your work, mate. Big up everyone in the chat. Lots of love from Australia. Milton, nice to see you. And everyone's saying hello to you, Milton. So what I'm going to say to you, so you're from Wollongong. So you've got, right. So you've got quite a few people. Milton, listen, what I've got, Milton, is the reason for doing this show is to try and grab some people in to do some of the, and also to talk about football in general things. This is just an easy stream tonight. But if people wanted to enter the competition, so here is Predict the Prem, right, which is guessing the scores of the Premiership games for the week, right? There's a link there, and then the code is down there in the chat. And then we're also doing a Fantasy Premier League, which is there, and the code's there as well. Now, if you want to enter, because we're trying to get the most people possible to enter, if you want to enter, all you need to do is go into my community page, which is Eltel Cockerell, but instead of going to video lives and that, go into community, and both of the competitions are there. So you've got one that was put in there 3 weeks ago, which is the Fantasy Premier, and another one that's 3 weeks ago, which is the new Online Predictions League. You're more than welcome, Milton, to enter both of these competitions. Just go to the community page and enter. Let me have a look with Predict the Prem. We started off on 25 tonight. We've now got 27, so we've got 2 people that have joined. One is Grant, and the other one is Side Dancer. So Side Dancer and Grant have just both entered the predictions. So we've now got 27 in the predictions. And in the fantasy, we have got Sai. Sai has just entered. Your team is pending moderation, i.e., that it's got to agree with you. And once it agrees with you, Sai, your team name will appear. But with Simon and Grant entering tonight, and Samuel McConkey has entered, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 28, 29. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. 42 people. 42 people have entered the Fantasy Premier, and 27 have so far entered the Predict the Football. But let me remind you again that on a Friday, 3:30, we'll be doing the normal predictions league that I did last year, which is where whenever we do it live on a show, and then when we do it live on the show, I then do the manual inputting into Excel spreadsheets and that, and it went really well last year. But this year, I won't be chasing. I'll repeat myself again. I'm not going to be chasing people, and if people miss the show because of timings and stuff, then after the show's finished, as long as you leave it there, then in the comments after the show's finished, if you leave it in the comments, on the stream at the end of the show, I will take your scores from there and I will add them on. Let me see. You guys have started talking away here. Right, you've got David, and there's quite a few, Milton, that we've got from Oz, but David is one of the mainstays, and you're talking to him at the moment. Right, Ryan G says, make him want to play again. All this is, and they say, making me haven't played for like 5 years. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell people what and what not to do, but you guys, if you've played football in the past, you'll know the score. If you can get playing football and then you end up meeting, other people. See, I play I play mixed ability, which means that you're not playing against people of your own age. We play, and on a Friday, we get 16, 18-year-olds that play that are they're everywhere. They're like lightning, and they're off and running everywhere. And at the end of the day, it's all mixed ability. Everyone's played the game in some form or guise, and there's different standards that they played when they were younger or when they used to play football, or that they still play football now. And we end up playing, and I play with different people on a Monday to a Wednesday to the 2 groups I play with on a Friday. So I get to have banter and get to have a laugh with a lot of different people because it's 4 different groups that I'm playing with. And, you know, at the end of the day, you're getting out, you're having your own headspace, you go out and do something that you love. I mean, we watch enough of it on on telly and stuff, you know, and at the end of the day, I love playing football. So, you know, anything that you can do in life that helps you move your body and keep you going and helps you helps you mentally and physically is going to be good for you. So, I would welcome doing any form of exercise. But if football's your bag, get back into it. It's never too late. Just get back into it. And for those that can't move around and that, because some people getting older and probably need hip replacements and stuff like that, if people are getting to that, well, just do walking football, where you're playing 3-touch football. You know, it's not for me because I like running around still, but walking football it will be an option once my body seizes up. Milton is saying I'm from Wollongong, but most of my family live in Perth. And David and Milton are telling each other where they're from, which is good. Ryan G says, slide tackling in the winter on AstroTurf, shredding my kneecaps. I miss them times. See, Ryan, we play on a 4G pitch, right? And the 4G pitch is absolutely brilliant. No, I don't slide tackle. I've never slide tackle, and I wouldn't slide tackle. We play on a 4G pitch, which on a 4G pitch takes a stud or takes Astro trainers or can take a stud as well. Now, I wear Astro trainers. And I've got some really nice ones. I've got Nike Phantoms, and they're really quality. But when you're playing against people that have got studs, if they then tread on you or they then boot you, you don't half feel it with studs. But yeah, the pitch is absolutely crisp to play on a 4G pitch, and it's well maintained. It's looked after. Chelsea's academy, so the academy in the south down here use that pitch and pay for that pitch. So that means the pitch is always going to be well maintained because they won't let the standard of pitch drop. So that pitch is always looked after, the pitch that I play on. You've got David and Milton talking to each other, which is great. Graham, see you later, mate. Says, guys, time to catch some seas. Catch you all later. Graham, take care of yourself. Side Dancer says, just under predict the score and fantasy. Thank you very much, Si, for joining it. Good luck to you for the remainder of the season. Good on you, Chris. Did everyone think you were crazy too? Must have missed something that you said there. Mark Ryan G says, yeah, Mark Cook, yeah, mate, or tackling in knee-deep puddles. Dan says, I'll be honest though, with my short fuse, I'll probably a red card waiting to happen. How do you join the prediction league? It's confusing, right? So Destiny, all you do, I think further down, Chris Peters or somewhere, I think Chris put the link in. So there's the link. Here it is. Look, you go into the link there, right? Predict the Premier, and then it's .predictthefootball.com. And once you've done that, right, let me have a look. Right, here you go, mate. So Destiny 5, right? Right, Destiny, there you go. So you go to this link that I've just put in there, right? And then you enter code. Once you're in there, you enter this code for the league, right? And it will take you straight to our league. And you get emailed every Friday. Every week you'll get an email, and that email will tell you how much you scored. I mean, you can check it yourself, but it will send you out an email to tell you how much you scored and that the next set of predictions are due. So it always reminds you, yeah? It always reminds you. Right, there you go, mate. So the link's there, and then you enter the code, right? Well, you got Mark. David Shear says we had an oval here with Rue, rabbit and sheep shit on it. Mark stunk like hell. Milton's gonna have a look after today. Yeah, have a look after work, Milton. It'd be great if you could join. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. We'll pay Destiny. We'll pay Destiny. Pay up, mate. I can tell Daniel, to be fair, mate. Destiny, Daniel is offering to pay. What a top man. Ryan, I know, great fella. Sidearch says, I live 16 miles away from Oxford. Might go and watch Dane while he's on loan. Oxford won tonight again. Dane wasn't on the subs bench. Dane wasn't in the squad today. But Oxford have won in the Carabao Cup tonight. They won 2-0, which means they got promoted last season and they're unbeaten in both games. They've won both their games 2-0. They were home games, but they've won both of their games. Destiny 5 says, I go goals every week with mates. Guess it's called Power League in London. Yeah, Power League goals, yeah, I understand totally. I've played in Power League in London, but God, it was 20 years ago. I played in Power League in London. Well, in places in London. Chris Peters says, I've played right back, left back, right wing and striker in 11-a-side Sunday League. Fair play to you, Chris. Fair play to you. Mark Cook, going hard meant you didn't get hurt as much, though. That's true. You going hard, you're not going to get hurt. You going half-hearted, you will get hurt. Look, I moved out of London 15 years ago. The thing is, Destiny, wherever you move to, right? You'll always find people to play football with. If you go down to your local, I don't know. See, we play at Bexhill College, right? And as I said, it's all maintained. But if you find no, Destiny, you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for it at all. If you wherever you move to or wherever you guys all live, right? If you go to your local colleges or local parks, or if they've got sectioned off pitches and stuff like that, you'll always go down there and you can just stand and say, anyone looking for anyone for a game? And if you do that, you end up playing with someone, and then they'll give you a contact to someone else, and you end up falling into, meeting a load of new people and end up playing football. I ended up playing once. I think I first played on a Friday. It was my 8 o'clock group, and I first played on a Friday. And then from playing there, I got to know other people, and then I ended up playing on the other days of the week through other people I'd got to meet. Yeah, and that can happen to anyone and everyone. You'll always find people. Destiny says 4G pitches have soft grass. Yeah, 4G pitches are superb. It's not a 3G or sandy pitch. It's definitely a 4G pitch. And as I said, it's well maintained. Ryan G, I'll slide tackle on any service. It's probably because you're a northerner, mate. Honestly, you must be absolutely bonkers. You don't go crashing into people slide tackling on Astro. Slide tackling on Astro, you'd have no hairs left on your legs. And God, you must be bathed in pseudo cream if you're if you slide tackle on that. Mark Cook says, David, exactly. My old man said to me, going hard, if you bottle it, you get hurt. So took that as gospel and got stuck in. It's exactly right. You're spot on, guys. If you're going half-heartedly, you come out getting hurt. If you're going hard, if you're going hard and fair, but you're going hard, then you're not going to come out. You're not going to come unstuck. Chris is saying, I've played barefooted in Malaysia. Bloody well hurt your foot for kicking the ball. David Shear is saying, Chris, my last game was in Singapore. We had kegs of beer on each bench. Between Hamas Derwent and Hamas Swan, aka Fluffy Duck, what a blast. Daniel is saying, the one thing I do hate though is lazy teammates who don't press. That really did piss me off when I was younger. You don't pay for Predict the League, mate. You don't pay, you just enter it. Don't pay at all. Ryan G saying, none of my mates play football now. Used to play in a 7-a-side league on a Sunday night. Ryan, honestly, wherever you played in a 7-a-side league, right? Just wherever you played that, if you still live near there, all you go is you go down there, right? And just stand there and just watch people. And if they've got enough to play, just say, how do I get involved? Or you could stand there, see people playing, say, look, I'm after a game. Has anyone got room for me? And that's how you do it. You've got to put yourself out there. You have a talk and put yourself above the parapet. And then all of a sudden, it's surprising, you'll end up finding new people, new mates, and you'll end up falling into playing football with a load of people. Desi says, my old college let us play for free on Sundays on their pitches, but Sundays are tough with everyone having families. I think, again, Destiny, I understand what you're saying. And like I said earlier about the health side of things, right? It's finding time. I've got family, but it's finding the time. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I've got to have some me time. So, at the end of the day, you plan for this. I, on a Wednesday, I'm playing football 8 o'clock, and something will have to be something extremely important would have to happen in order for me not to play on a Wednesday 8 o'clock. I play 6 o'clock on a Monday. I play 7 o'clock on a Friday, and then I play again at 8 o'clock on a Friday. So I play, and my life and what I do is planned around that. So therefore, I know when I'm working, and I know on a Monday I'm playing football. So at the end of the day, I know that's going to happen. So I plan it and make sure that unless something comes up, then I'm going to be able to play. So it's all about planning it, and and not making excuses, because the worst thing that people suffer from, and why people don't go through with things. I mean, let's say people that wanted to go on healthier living, like whether people call it diets or whatever you want to call it. It's a chore, because you've got to get in the right mindset, the right frame of mind, and say, today I'm going to do this. Today I'm going to have Weetabix for breakfast. Today I'm going to have a chicken salad for lunch, or a tuna salad for lunch. And in the evening, I'm going to have some broccoli, some cauliflower, some grilled chicken, and some whole grain rice, right? And it's getting your mindset on that. If your mindset's not on it already, and you're gonna do that, you could end up saying, well, I'm going to go and buy 2 croissants and a donut for me breakfast. For lunch, I'll have I'm going to have a portion of chips, and I'll go chicken shop for lunch, and I'll get myself 3 pieces of chicken and chips. And then for dinner, I'll just have anything. I'll fry myself some fish or something. And at the end of the day, it's a mindset. You got to get into mindset, and it's all in your head. It's all in your head to do these things. It's all in your head, and you got to find the time to do it. And it's the same as doing any sports. If you're going to go and do exercise and sports, and you just got to find the time to do it, and not let anything get in the way and say, oh, well, I ain't going to do it tonight because it's a bit of rain. There's a bit of rain. I ain't doing it tonight. Listen, when I go walking, right, and I ain't done this for a while now, but I'd go walking in thunderstorms and in heavy duty rain, because one thing, there's no one out and about when it's like that, the weather, and I just go, put my headphones on, bosh, and I'll go and I'll crack on and I'll do a 10-mile walk and come back. The rain's not stopping me. The cold doesn't stop me, because you could get easy into your head that you think to yourself, well, it's raining, it's cold, it's snowing, I ain't going to bother doing it. I've gone out, I've got to do my walks in snow as well. At the end of the day, these are just excuses. It's all in your head, and if you're in the right frame of mind, then you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Jose, proper defender, slide tackle on anything. Yeah, I would say a proper defender stays on his feet. When did you see Maldini slide tackle? How many times did you see Maldini slide tackle? Proper defenders stay on their feet. They show you inside, they show you outside. Destiny 5 says, I used to watch beach football back in the day before school with all the Brazilians. Good memories. Pop down the pitch, Ryan G, if it was me, and I would ask you to join in. That's what I think you should do. Boys ain't lie. Women, we all get along. Destiny says, I go gym 4 times a week, play football 1, maybe twice a week. Health is wealth, but I drink a lot, so guess it means nothing. Well, you can still, I suppose you can have a drink if you want, and yeah, you can have a drink, but at the end of the day, it's all about how many calories you got going in, and then how many calories you got coming out, and the calories you got coming out of the exercise you do. So at the end of the day, if you're taking in, I don't know, let's say you went out on the piss and you had 8 pints of lager, right? If you go out on the piss, you have 8 pints of lager. However many calories that is, plus what you've eaten throughout the day and all that, you're looking at probably like 5,000-6,000 calories. But if you're not doing any exercise, the average male person probably burns at least, and this is without exercise, probably burns close to 2,000 calories a day, right? Without exercise. But then if you're eating more than 2,000, or your intake's more than 2,000, then you're not going to lose any weight, or you're going to gain weight. So it's a case of balancing what you're doing. If you've got more coming out than going in throughout a 7-day period, you'll lose weight. It's as simple as that. If you take, let's say you had 2,000 calories coming in, but you had 3,000 going out, and you did that every day, you lose a pound. Or no, you lose a pound. You lose a pound a week quite comfortably. So at the end of the day, as I said, it's in your head. David says, time for a full Aussie brekkie night. Oh, thank you, Jose Coba. David, have a really, really good breakfast, mate. Thank you for being here, and I will catch up with you soon, sir. Ryan G says, I look in good shape, Destiny, but I'd be needing a ventilator if I ran for 5 minutes. Rain is the best weather to play in, is what Ryan's saying. It's the beer for me as well, Destiny. I haven't had. Listen, I can't remember the last time I had a drink, to be honest. Shit, it was months and months ago though. The last time I probably had a drink was probably March, April, March, ages ago, long time ago. And the next time I'm going out, I think, is the 13th of September, which is a Friday. Friday the 13th of September is the next time I'm going out. I'm going to an awards function. So, and I'll probably have a good drink then. But yeah, I haven't drank for ages. Oh, I thought you were talking about playing still, Jose. Jose, proper defenders keep the ball out of the back of the net. My slide tackling percentage would have been through the roof. Success rate. Mate, honestly, the best defenders stood on their feet, didn't have to dive in. And that's what I'm going to say. You watch Maldini. Maldini didn't slide at all. Maldini stood on his feet, and showed the player inside and outside, and was absolutely world class. Maldini. Daniel says even the good centre backs at times still have a slide tackle, mate. Carlos Puyol, Cannavaro both slide tackled a bit, but Maldini is the goat of defending. No one is Maldini. Well, I'll tell you what, if I remember, right, if we go back to Barcelona when you had Puyol and they had the guy that was married to Shakira, he was at Man United. Forget his name. The one that's like spent loads of money. He's got the International Tennis Federation. He owns that as well now. But anyway, he's the guy that he's at Man United. He came from Barcelona to Man U as a youngster. Couldn't get in the side because of Ferdinand and Vidic and people like that. And hardly got a look in, and then went back to Barcelona again. And I can't remember his name. But he played at the back with Carlos Puyol for Barcelona. What was his name? Anyway, that fella, right? That fella never. I never saw him slide tackle. I always saw him. Puyol was the one that slide tackled. This other fella never. PK, that's him. PK. You look at PK and Puyol playing together for Barca and for Spain, right? PK didn't slide tackle. Puyol did. PK stayed on his feet. A really good defender will stand on their feet and show you inside and out, and won't have to do slide tackles. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I mean, there are some great defenders out there that slide tackle as well, but for me, I like defenders that didn't have to slide tackle all the time. Was he saying here? Yeah, Chris, my knees were screwed every week. Ryan says, I only have a drink on the weekend. Nothing ridiculous, to be honest. Nothing like when I was younger. We all get older, don't we? Destiny says, my family have a pub. It's hard not to. What is it, their own pub, or is it a chain that they manage for a chain or something? Ryan G says, I've seen Maldini slide numerous times, but yeah, I was a pace merchant of a defender anyway. Pace merchant and you had to slide. That doesn't go hand in hand. You either got pace or you have to slide. Romero is the only old school defender left in the Premiership, says Destiny. PK, Ryan, she's anywhere near me, Destiny. He's in Leicester. Chris Peter says, I might have to visit the Midlands, see the Midlands brothers here. Yes, we have got a few Midlands brothers here. Anyway, that being said, let me see where we are. Been good chat. Like I did say it was going to be a chilled stream, but I'm trying to see if this bloody other computer works. Right, Destiny, I think that you've entered, or I think I saw it was you that entered on Predict the Prem. No, look, 27. Is that number gone up? It's got. So we've gone up to 29 on Predict the Prem, which is good. Dan, you're in the Predict the Prem. That's fantastic. And in fantasy, we have Eddie Maron. So Ed M is entered as well. Dan, I'm going to say it to you now, mate. You've got to enter the Predictions League. You've got to enter it. It tells you. Did you guys all receive an email today? Because I did. I received an email today from Predict the Prem to say that the fixtures have got to be selected for this week. I got it this afternoon. So I know that Predict the Prem send you out weekly. So you'll always be reminded of Predict the Prem. But with FPL, you'll be reminded anyway because you get an email from FPL on a weekly basis. And everyone, when the season starts, everyone will be talking about FPL. Ed M says he doesn't drink anymore. Ryan G says, no, Jose, I'll be playing on the halfway line. People just used to lump the ball in behind when I played. But the thing is, yeah, I saw that you're in Destiny. Well done, mate. The thing is, though, Ryan, in all honesty with you, right? If I knew that I was playing against pacey defenders, right, and I was playing in the midfield, centre mid, or whatever, I was playing anywhere other than up front, right? There's no way that I'm lumping a ball in over the top, trying to get behind the defenders if I knew the defenders were quick. I ain't doing it. Instead of doing that, you play through and you try to pass your way through. If people have got speed motions in the back, you're not going to lump the ball over the top. It's hopeless. I mean, you obviously Mickey van der Ven's got freak pace, but you don't see people hitting the ball long when Mickey van der Ven's playing for Tottenham, do you? Because they know Mickey van der Ven's going to get to the ball first. It's a wasted opportunity. So if I knew myself that there was people that were quick at the back, then we'll try and play through them. We won't lump balls up the pitch or hit the balls down the wings, down the channels and that. We wouldn't do that because people are really, really quick. So yeah, you just put a comment down the bottom, then I'll come in. Therefore, using my pace to recover and put in a slide tackle. Okay. Ryan thinks he's found Ryan G says, my granddad lives in Leicester, Destiny. I go out there quite a bit. Says, yeah, Daniel, same attributes, but I'm a lot. Milton is saying BK and Gerard. That's correct. It was PK that I was referring to. Ryan says, Jose, teams when I was growing up didn't really pass the ball. It's interesting because I think I know that you're younger than me, Ryan, and I think you're quite a bit younger than me because when we do certain things that we talk about, you and Daniel are like the confused brothers, aren't you? You know, what are they talking about now? What are they talking about? We know nothing about that. So when I played growing up, and I think I said this on the show the other day of watching the football, we played football the way that we were taught to play football when I was a kid, and this is from about the age of 4, right? Is that we were told to play the same way that Liverpool used to play. So you play the ball out from the back. This is when they had Phil Neal, Emlyn Hughes, they had Ray Kennedy, John Toshak up front, Kevin Keegan. They had a speed merchant as well. But anyway, they played the ball from the back. Now, when I grew up playing football, you're allowed to pass back to the goalkeeper. If forward was onto you, Instead of having to lump it out or turn, you know, you could just pass it back to the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper could pick it up. But equally, the goalkeeper would throw the ball out to the fullbacks or roll it out to the centre half. And you played football, you attacked, you played football from the back, pass, pass, pass through the pitch. So we were taught how to play that way. And that's how I learned to play football, was playing out from the back. Steve Highway, Edem Yassim, Steve Highway, the pace merchant. So Edem's probably my age then, or there or thereabouts, because he remembers Steve Highway as well. So yeah, at the end of the day, we were taught to play football from the back, and we never lumped it. We never lumped it long. We were taught to play football from the back. The only time that I saw lumping football was when the Crazy Gang, when Wimbledon famously came up in the late 80s, and did their bits and pieces. They used to lump the ball. They became a lump the ball merchants. Ryan, I remember Wolves being at one stage when you had Steve Ball up front. So Steve Ball must have been 80s, mid 80s or whatever. When you had Steve Ball up front, and he's a fair player, Steve Ball, but when you had Steve Ball up front, Wolves would lump the ball all the time. That's how they played their football. They'd lump it to Steve Ball, who's the number 9 for Wolves at the time, and they'd always lump it up to Steve Ball. But I grew up where, and I've always played with teams, and the way that we've always played is create the build up, and play from the back and create your build up, and it's pass and move, creating angles in that. We never used to lump the ball. Like I keep saying on many shows, and that I keep saying that when I play football, even now, the thing you hear most on the pitch is look after the ball, take care of the ball, and for that means that you're passing the ball to each other and you're taking care of it. You're not lumping the ball up, because if you lump the ball up, you lose possession. If you lose possession, you've got to hunt that possession down. You waste energy. You spend so much energy having to hunt the ball down all the time. So if you look after the ball and you use it wisely and you're passing and moving and creating angles, then the team that gets knackered is your opponents, because they're then chasing. And that's the way that I've been taught to play football. But that's just me, because you said you lumping it long. Whereabouts in this? Right, pitches were awful, or pitches were woeful as well. Back in my day, they were worse probably in your day, because everything since I've got everything as years have gone on, everything has become nicer and more pristine and stuff. So I think I've probably got 20 years on you, at there or thereabouts, if not more, on you, Ryan. And at the end of the day, the pitches that we played, we never had nothing at all. It was just absolute bogs. Absolute bogs is all we had. We played on bogs, flooded most of the time. Yeah, that's what bogs were. Um, the days of the goal hanger is over. Michael Owen was a goal hanger. You've got Ryan G says most of the football I played up until the age of about 16 was basically hoofball, Stoke FC. Pass back rule died in the 90s. Steve Highway's correct. How many goals would not have been given over the years if VAR was in play? Man United would have like one trophy. Steve Ball. There we go. Shouting out Steve Ball. Then, of course, can you imagine if they still had the pass back rule where I could pass back? Football would be even more boring than it is now. Do you know what? Like I said, you'd pass back to your goalkeeper, but your goalkeeper would start the attack straight away. Instead of doing all this, playing with your feet and passing out to your right back, your left back, your centre backs and that, the goalkeepers used to pick up the ball, and they didn't have gloves. They never wore gloves back then. So when you had goalkeepers, cool, who am I going to think of? You had Peter Bonetti back then. You had for Tottenham, you had Barry Daines. You had Bruce Grobbler and Gary Bailey and Man United, and you had all these goalkeepers, and they never wore gloves. They just got the ball, right, and you pass the ball back to them. They'd get the ball, and straight away they'd throw it, even one-handed. They'd throw it out to the right back or the centre half, or they'd throw it to a midfielder. They never used to just pick the ball up and hoof it down the pitch, but they used to start attacks off, and they were as good as someone playing with their feet nowadays, a goalkeeper playing with their feet nowadays. Just that they use their hands to do it, and they never wore gloves. Adam says just a bit before my time, but Steve was a scout for Liverpool. Yep, he certainly was. Steve Highway. Steve Highway was a fantastic player. Destiny 5 says Wolves have Portuguese players waiting in a dark room, waiting to be called on nowadays. Portuguese or Brazilian army. I live in the north. Rain, rain, rain. Do you know what? No disrespect, mate, but I could not. I could not be up in the north for too long. If it's grey and miserable up there, God, is it grey and miserable? I mean, it can be grey and miserable everywhere, but when you're in the north, it kind of gets me down sometimes. But not where you are, because you lot are in the Midlands. I'm talking about further north. Further north gets me down sometimes. You go to places like York, Crewe, and places like that, and it's bloody grey and miserable, and you're just like, oh, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Uh, Jesse Fry says women's football needs a pass back rule. Oh, that's controversial. I'm glad Ellie's not here. I don't know what happened to Colin because Colin said to me he's going to come and co-host tonight. But obviously he's had better things to do. And being Colin, like Colin is, he hasn't even written to me to say sorry for not appearing. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Yay! We've got Phil Coyce. Phil's here. Good evening, Phil. Phil is another fella in the Midlands. So you've now got a fair few of you here in the chat that are up in the Midlands. So you've got Ryan, Destiny, and Phil are all up in the Midlands area. All different parts of the Midlands, but you're all up in the Midlands area. I'm not sure, Phil, whether you've entered the competitions that we're doing, but I did put the stuff up earlier. I've just realised. Where is it? I've just realised. Where's he got this from? I'm trying to see where he got it from. Okay, I don't know where he's got it from. I could double check for you, Phil. So for Predict the Football, can you see yourself? I don't know whether you can see yourself. I don't think you are in Predict the Football, to be honest, because we have. These are the people that are currently in Predict the Football, Phil. And I don't think that you're on there. Unless you change your name, Phil, you're not on there, mate. There's a league at the moment of the people that have entered on Predict the Football, and you are not on there at the moment. But don't worry, because we can get you sorted. We can get you sorted right now, my friend. Let me have a look. So Phil, here we go. Paste that one. Right, so I'm going to give you the thing now. All for Phil. Right. All for Phil. Right, there we go. Right, Phil, for Predict the Football, it's there, the code that I've just put in there. That's the one for Predict the Football. I would, if you signed up to it, Phil, just enter the code. Enter that code, mate. Just enter that code and it'll get you into the league. And I think that you have entered the fantasy. You've called your team Angie's Army. Is that correct, Phil? If it is, then you are in, mate. Then you are in. Ryan, are you in it? What are you talking about? The Predict the League? Yeah, Ryan, you're in it. You're in Predict the League. And in fantasy, fantasy Eltel Wanderers. So you're in both. I can see that you're in both. Let me see. Right, what we got here? Destiny 5 says, Pep is so animated on the touchline, the best managers are. Ange just stands there and it worries me, sorry. The best players need reminding sometimes what their roles are. Do you know what? I just think because he doesn't rant and rave all the time. And if you saw him, obviously you've seen the pre-season friendlies, right? And because when they did the pre-season friendlies, they had to take water breaks, didn't they? And when they took the water breaks, you hear him ripping into the teams. I mean, we don't normally get to hear all that, but God, did we hear some of that? We heard some of that big time. And yeah, it was absolutely madness. He was ripping into him. So, at the end of the day, I just think he does do it, but he does it in his own way. Now, in the Premiership game, if he doesn't fire off the handle on the touchline, it's probably his coaches that are doing the barking, right? But when it comes to half time, it's his voice that they can hear at half time. It's definitely his voice that they can hear, right? But, you know, in the games, it probably is more his coaches that do it in Premiership games, but he's the one that ends up doing it in at half time in the changing room. Where have we got down here? She's saying the fact that football has become so system based and that the joy is taken off the football don't need to pass back rule where defenders, when defending under real pressure, can get the ball. Yeah, I keep saying that all the time, don't I? That I think that football now has become robotic, where people are told to where to stand and where to go to. Grant is saying Ferdy Kadiogoglu to Brighton has got a here we go. Well, if you've got a here we go, fair play to you. Fair play to you. Good luck to Brighton. You're still shit and you're not going to beat us, even with your manager who's like 2 years old. So enjoy your season, mate. Enjoy your season. You lost the best manager you ever had. That should get you going. You must be off a break then again because you're back here. Uh, Nate Pye, good morning, mate. We'll add mine later. Yes, Nate, that would be great. If you haven't seen where they are here, they're both the competitions in the community page. I'm still doing the normal predictions league as well on the Friday shows. And this Friday, because it's the kickoff of the season, it'll be 3:30 that I do the show. Normally it'll be 4 o'clock, and that's where live we'll put up each game, and live whoever's in the show will put down what they think the score would be. I then put it input it onto the spreadsheet, and then I do it that way as well. So it's 3 competitions that we're actually doing. He's saying, I think I'm in now. I think I'm in the fantasy. You are in the fantasy league. Yeah, you are in the fantasy league, and I'll check your predicted football in a second. My memory's that bad. I don't even remember joining the predictions one. I think you done it quite early on, but the one that you weren't going to do early on was the fantasy. You said to me on the show that you joined that you'd done the predicted football, but you said that you was going to join the fantasy at a later stage. But you did. You've done them both. Right, predicted football. Let me see, Phil, if you're there. Phil. Yep, you are in. So that takes us up in the predict the Prem. Let me get back in. What else we got? Yeah, you are in now, mate. Chris Peters, let everyone know that they have to log into FPL at least 3 hours before the new week of football starts, including when it's a new week starts midweek. Yeah, like I said, when you look at in the FPL, I'll just share it and present it. Be easiest way to do it. When you're in the FPL and you're actually in there, right? Let me have a look. Right, when you're actually in there, so when it says pick a team, right, so when it says pick a team, all right, and you've got to select your team, down the bottom underneath it says game week 1, Friday the 16th of August, 18:30. So that means you need to select your team by 18:30. So obviously the first kickoff is at 2000 on Friday. So an hour and a half before kickoff on game day, you have to have selected your side. But I would say to people, leave it about 3 hours before the first kickoff, because that it ends up shutting itself down for maintenance and then you can't change the team. It's important to always remember to add a captain each game week. So always select the captain, because the captain will score you double points. Yeah. But yeah, always go into it. Right, where are we now? Go back to StreamYard and then I can see what we got. Fair play, great signing that. That's Kadulioglou, or whoever you signed it. Side Dancer says, I went last year pre-season. I heard hands from the top of the south stand. There you go. And he does. He has a right go at people. It's just that he's not one of these that keeps going off, all the time. Do you know what I mean? Ryan G says, Genoa coming in for Fabio Silva from us. Thank God someone wants him. Fabio Silva, he's a young lad, and the young lad that you got, was he the young lad that you bought in? You bought him because of a promise that he had, because I think he was in Portugal's under-20s or something, winning team or something like that. And you bought him in, and is he not the one that went out on loan to Rangers and didn't do much at Rangers at all? If he is, then yeah, I'll tell you what, it's not going to work out, is he? And you might as well move him on. We need to start buying more players now. Wolves need to start buying more players, is what Ryan's saying. Grant says, Ryan, my missus is a Maidenhead United fan, so I want to thank you for the 4 million they got for Max Kilman. Ah, there you go. Ryan says, to be fair, Grant, they should have got 8 million, but we negotiated it so they received 10% instead of 20%, but still great money for them. Right, so Ryan, tell me how you did that. How did you go to a non-league club, right, and who were due 20%? How did you go and knock them down to 10%? What happened to the other 10%? Because someone like a non-league club or conference league, South or North or whatever team they are, they would need the money. So what did you do? What did Wolves do with the other 10% of the money? How did they end up doing it? Destiny says, I'm going to win fantasy and predictions and mind the gap. Yeah, like the fighting talk, Destiny. Like the fighting talk. Remember, there's 3 competitions, everyone. There's the 2 that you can do online that we've done, and then there's 1 that's going to be live on the shows. So what do you say? Yeah, I did hear that anything in the area is a blessing in the National League, especially when they're part-time too. Destiny says we can't see each other's teams yet. No, when you do the Fantasy Premier League, right, you will not see anyone's team until the first game has finished. Yeah. Other than that, you can always check from week 2 onwards. You can always see somebody else's team, but you won't see the up-to-date changes and transfers. You'll only see the team that they had the week before, because you can change your team around, your starting lineup. You can make transfers and that, but it's not only until the first game of that weekend finishes. Right, sorry, kicks off, that you'll actually see somebody else's team. Yeah. And always remember that the following week, you'll only see the team that they had from the previous week. So if they've made changes to their team or substitutions, or they've made any transfers, you won't see that until the first game is kicked off of that resulting week. I had Fabio Silva on FIFA. He was a decent mop head. Ryan says, yeah, paid 35 for him. 35 million for him when he was like 17, 18. Yeah, he was at Rangers and they didn't rate him one bit. Yeah, I didn't think he'd done. I thought he was the one that went to Rangers. He didn't do much at all. Wolves just need to open the door to that room and keep them in. 100% Grant. Feel sorry that they didn't get more though. Yeah, I'm trying to understand. Right, he's going to tell me that now in a minute. Wolves are very sneaky with their contracts and bonuses. Ryan G is saying, I don't know, Jose, to be honest. It was just something I read. We wanted 45 million until they negotiated down to 10%, and then we took 40. Yeah, but there must have been a sweetener to Maidenhead. You just can't do that. There must have been some sort of a sweetener. He said they find a way. We've been linked with Mikel Antonio as well. Good Lord. Grant says, I find he's hit and miss. Destiny says Fulham will beat United on Friday. They have done the best business next to Fulham. Hold on, what? Fulham will beat United on Friday. They have done the best business next to Fulham. Oh, I'm kind of lost there. Grant says every time I popped him in FPL, he'd never turn up. Yeah, but you're not very good at FPL. Who wins the FPL when we play that as well, Grant? Just saying. Side Dancer says, who's people's strike partners in the fantasy? Mine is Big Dom and Haaland. They'd be giving it away, Si. There's 3 strikers. So who's your third striker then, Si? Because you've only given us 2. Ryan G says, yeah, Jose, I don't know what we did, to be honest. West Ham, sorry. Right, Destiny, I'm going to ask you a question because I'm going to wrap this up soon. So I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, right? Right, I'm going to ask you questions. How many of you think West Ham have done good business? Right, I'm going to tell you who West Ham have bought, and then I need to know why you think they've done good business. Right, Grant says they've had a blinder of a transfer window, and that they've been linked with Wilfred Zaha and Galeno from Porto in recent days. I think that might be you. Destiny 5 says he would take West Ham's forward line over ours. Okay, right. So West Ham have signed Max Kilman, Crescencio Somerville, Nicholas Fulkrug, Luis Guillem, today Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They signed Guido Rodriguez, Wes Foderingham, and John Claire Todibo. Yeah? Right. My opinion, Tottenham still finish higher than West Ham, even with all these signings that they've made. Right? Fulkrug has done it only 1 season in Germany. He had 1 good season. Apart from that, he's been a journeyman striker up until now. He's had 1 good season. Fulkrug will probably struggle. I don't think he's the quickest of players. And I think some of the defenders in the Premier League are really physical. And I know that he likes to be physical, but he's going to have people that match up to him, right? So I'm going to say Fulkrug. I'm going to tell you now, Solanke scores more than Fulkrug. I'm going to tell you that now, right? Solanke scores more than Fulkrug. I think they've improved their defence by bringing in Max Kilman, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and John Claire Todibo. They've probably improved their defence, right? Does Somerville get in the side over Kudos? Does he get into the side over Jared Bowen? Because let's face it, it's Kudos and Bowen are going to be the wide players. Does Somerville get into the side before them two? I don't think he does, right? Now, the other thing I've got to say to this is that that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's at the moment, because the transfer window isn't closed, that's 8 players that West Ham need to integrate. That's a lot of players. That is a lot of players to integrate into your team. So, for me, looking at this, right, how long is it going to take them to integrate these players into that team? Is it going to take like it's going to take at least a season to integrate them all? At least a season, right? This is my opinion. I'm just asking you what your opinions are. So, right, I'm going to go to the next team that we're going to look at because I was going to ask a question about the next team as well. Let's see if I can bring this down. All right. Where have they gone? Ah, here they are. Let me see. Right, you've got good transfer window for West Ham is Ryan saying. West Ham have done okay, says Edem. Your third striker is João Pedro. I'll tell you who my 3 are at the moment in the second, Edem. Sorry, side dancer. You're saying Bowen, Fulkirk, and Kudus is better than our front 3. Okay. Our front 3 will outscore West Ham's front 3 this season. Whoever our front 3 may be. Fulkrug sounds like Solanke. West Ham signings are nothing special. They will be around 10th to 12th, says Ronnie. Edem says Guido is not the quickest, good player, but Premier League could be too fast for him. What's happening with Paquetá? I thought he was getting banned. Paquetá, is he the West Ham player? He is banned at the moment. He is banned at the moment. This says, I agree, Jose. They have a great manager that is Real Madrid proven, to be honest. Is he Real Madrid proven, Destiny? He's not. Paquetá is banned, I think. Yeah, he is. Right. So, Lopetegui was offered the role at, was offered the Spanish role and left after a game, right? Or left completely, right? And when he was at Real Madrid, he didn't last long either. So for me, he's not proven, but he is a good manager. I mean, his football's good. He's good. He's a good coach, should I say? He's a good coach. If he played against Celta Vigo, I'm not sure. Then I'm not sure. I thought he was banned. I thought he was banned. I thought that he's gonna get a big time ban, because if I remember rightly, what he was done for was affecting results of games. So he was going out and getting himself carded, where loads of people were lumping loads of money on. He was getting carded in order to make money for syndicates and that. So he's been charged with the biggest of the worst of the worst. Right. Let me see if I can see what I wanted to see on this one. No, that's not come up, so we'll check it this way. Right. Right, I'm going to try and bring it up now. We have got Leo. My man Leo. Leo. Are you entering the Predict the Prem, Leo? If you are, if you are, I don't know whether you have. I don't think you have. But if you are, that's where you need to go to. Right, Aston Villa transfer news and rumours. Aston Villa, Birmingham Live. Where's the transfer market? Right, Aston Villa. Let's see what the players are. Do people think Aston Villa are going to do well? I'm going to ask that question now. Let me I'll go back to it. There's the F on this thing. F, G. All right, let me have a look. Premier League. Aston Villa. Right. Let me see what we've got. Let me just catch up with the chat. Let me go back up. So, Chris, I've starred yours. Right, I've starred your question. Aside from Tadibo, if Spurs signed any of them, fans would be crying, is what Daniel Dragon D's Nut says. Big up, homies. I hope you're all well. So, Leo, hello, hope you're well. Jose Mourinho told Alonso and Ramos to get banned so they could be fit for a quarter final. It happens. Pramvat is here. Hello, Jose. I hope everything is good. You guys got Solanke. Good sign, in my opinion. For you, Pramvat, as well, there's 2 competitions that we're doing, right? And they're on my community page. I need to star these when I'm going to do them. Right, so Pramvat, for you and Leo, because I don't think you and Leo have done it. I'm going to find it. Right, so you've got this, which is Predict the Premier League. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to copy it again so you both got it. Right, let me just do it for these 2 guys, because the more the merrier I can get people in, because otherwise it ain't going to happen. Right, this is the link for it. Right, that's Predict the Premier League, and the other one is all right. That's that one there. And then the other one is right. They're the 2 competitions that we'll be doing. So it's easy as. So one is Predict the Prem, and the other one is Fantasy. Right. So I was going to ask a question on Aston Villa, right? Let me go back down to where the chat is. What's that? Villa will be this season's Newcastle. Dragon D's nuts. You're taking the words out of my mouth, mate. You're taking the words out of my mouth. So yeah, so right, so Villa have signed this year. I'm trying to see who they've signed. Let me have a look. Right. Is that their team? 24-25. So they have signed Ian Matson from Chelsea. Amadou Onana. Kosta Nedljakovic. And he's a youngster because he was born in 2005. So that makes him, he's 19. He's not 19 till December. They've bought in Enzo Baranchea from Juventus. Leander Dendonca from Napoli. Oh, no, he's returned. Sorry, he was on loan at Napoli. So he's returned. They've got Ross Barkley in on a free. They've got Jaden Philogene from Hull. Sam Illing Jr. from Juve. And they've got Cameron Archer back from loan from Sheffield United. To me, Aston Villa ain't doing it. I think Aston Villa, like Dragons D Nuts, as it says there, I think that Aston Villa have got too many players to blood in. They've also got the European Champions League to play in. And I don't think, like I said last year, before the start of last season, I said Newcastle were going to struggle. And we'd finish higher than Newcastle. People tell me I was mad. We finished higher than Newcastle. My inkling is that we'll finish higher than Villa, and that all the signings that they've made have got to be bled in. Now, the one thing I'm going to say for Tottenham, right, is that love him, hate him, loathe him, whatever you want to do with Postecoglou, do it. But what I will say is they've had a year of Postecoglou. So all these players, the majority of players would have had a year with him, and we haven't got 8 players to bed in. All right. West Ham have got loads of players to bed in, and none of them have played under Lopetegui. And with Aston Villa, they just got loads of players to bleed in, and I just think that they're going to struggle. So for me, I've got Tottenham finishing higher than both. For those of you that I've got in my WhatsApp group, I've sent you all a message to ask you to private message me back with answers to 6 or 7 things for the season for Tottenham. And some of you have come back to me, and some of you haven't. So please do come back. Right, you've got Alan is here. Good evening, Alan. I hope you're well, sir. He says, "Hi, Jose. I'm signed up. At least I think I am." Right. If you are signed up, Alan, we shall see. Because if I go into predict the football, no, you're not. There's 30 people there at the moment, Alan, and I can't see your name on there. There's 30 people. There's no Alan because it goes in alphabetical order. So you've got AJ, and if he was under Rakdos Madness, you're not there either. So you're not entered in predict the football. You're not in that one. And in the fantasy, no, down the wrong way there. In the fantasy. In the fantasy, I think you might be in the fantasy. Yeah, your team Tottenham go Rakdos Madness. You're in the fantasy, but you're not in the predict the football. Yeah, you're not in predict the football, but you're in the other one. So the one that you're not in is that one. So Alan, that's the one that you're not in at the moment. Yeah. Right. So that's that. So if you want to enter that, please then do that, Alan, because that's the one that you're not in. Evening, Jess. I hope you're well, sweetheart. I hope you're well. So yeah, Alan, that's the predict the Premiership. That's the code that you need to go into it. And you guys can find all this on the community page as well. Right, question has come in from Chris Peters, and he says, Jose, how do you think Chelsea will do this season? Chelsea is another team, right, for me, Chris, that they've got Enzo Maresca coming in. So it's a new manager again, another new manager. So none of these players would have played under the manager. This manager plays a different way, apparently, to what Pochettino did. I didn't see much of his team in the Championship, but apparently plays a different style of football to what Pochettino said, or that's what we're being told. And all of a sudden, you've got spine of their team. You've got Chalobah, Gallagher, and Lukaku all training with the youngsters because they don't want them anywhere near the first team, because Chelsea are now saying that these people don't fit the style of football and are not a Maresca type player, which I think is an absolute cop out from Chelsea. But that's what they're saying. Chelsea have signed. If you look at Chelsea signed Pedro Neto. Apart from Pedro Neto, Chelsea did some horse trading with some other clubs in order to get around PSR before the 30th of June. So I haven't really signed much, and they've got, I think they've got 43 players in their squad, right? And 9 of them are goalkeepers. So take out the 9 goalkeepers from the squad, that still leaves them with 34 in their squad, right? He's got a different way of playing football at the moment. I know it's only pre-season, but the games that they've played in pre-season, he's come out and gave excuses for his players, saying that it's a new system for them to play, and they have to get used to playing it, right? I think that Chelsea will struggle for at least the first half of the season, and I'm going to say that at least, in the sense that if they do pick up the way that he wants them to play, and they do find a way of playing that way, then I think that they can pick up. But I think before that, they're going to go through a lot of pain until they actually get to that. I mean, you've got quality players like Reece James. Now, Reece James for me is a quality footballer if he stays injury-free, that is, because he's injured again. But he's a quality footballer. And Reece James has come out and said that he found this pre-season so difficult to try and adjust to the way that Maresca wants them to play. And that's Reece James saying that. And he's a club captain, and he's saying he finds it difficult the way that he wants to play. So if you're asking me the question, I think Chelsea will struggle probably if they're going to struggle. If they're not going to struggle for the whole season, then I think they'll struggle for the first part of it. And then if they pick up on what he's trying to show them, and they pick up the new way of playing the football that he wants to play, then it will be in the second half of the season. What people need to remember, and I know that Chelsea operate differently to all the other clubs in England and probably in Europe, but what you've got to remember is I think Maresca has been given a 5-year contract. So where I say that Tottenham have given Postecoglou a 4-year contract, and I'm saying that they've given him a 4-year contract is because they want him to do certain things over a 4-year period, then Chelsea have actually given Maresca a 5-year contract. And if you give him a 5-year contract, my thoughts are, right, these are my thoughts, right, as an employer, okay? So as an employer, which I'm not an employer, but I am a manager, and I hire people, right, for my teams. And what you're doing is if you've got a plan, right, and your plan is something like, let's say your plan is a 5-year plan, right? Or my plan at work is a 5-year plan, right? Then what I'm doing is when I'm going to hire people or recruit people, I'm recruiting people to fit the timeline of the plan that we've got. And you recruit the people that you think are the best and are going to deliver what the deliverables need to be for the next 5 years. Yeah. No, I'm not. I don't work in recruitment Destiny 5. I'm a head of service at a local authority. So I've got loads of teams, and I recruit for all the teams that I manage. So we've got deliverables that we've got, and that can be in a plan. You could have a roadmap. It can be a 3-year map plan with milestones in it. But then I'm recruiting people to the position to execute them deliverables, right? So it's the same way it works at football. Is that if you've got a 5-year plan, then that 5-year plan is to bring in if you've got a 5-year plan and you want to get Chelsea somewhere within 5 years, you've given the manager that 5-year contract, then what you want to do is you want to see the manager reach. There must be deliverables he's got to reach, and he's got to reach them within that 5 years, right? And it's the same as Postecoglou. Postecoglou has been given 4 years initially, and Maresca has been given 5. But if the players continue to struggle with the way that he is asking them to play, then we do know that results is a results orientated business. But then by the same token, this is how mad Chelsea are, right? Potter, when they brought Potter in, I think they shat on Potter from a great height, to be honest. He was being given an impossible task. There's loads of players that were being bought by Bowley and his cronies, and they weren't players that Potter wanted, but Potter had to use them and mould a team out of them, and he did that, right? And then he got dismissed. And then they brought in Pochettino and done basically the same with Pochettino. Pochettino weren't allowed to buy players. All they did is they ended up buying who they wanted and told Pochettino to go and manage them. And then when Pochettino wanted to mould the team and do what he wanted to do, Chelsea let him go. So Chelsea's model is it's a freak model. It's totally different to anyone else that you're going to meet in England and in Europe and probably the world for that matter. But in answering that question, I just think Maresca's one of Pep's disciples because Maresca was one of the coaches for Man City under Pep. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I mean, someone like Jess, if she's still here, she could tell you more about his style of play and shit like that with Leicester. But that was Leicester. This is Chelsea. This is the Premiership now, and it's whether he can implement that with the players that he's got. I'm not even too sure whether the players are the type of players that that Maresca likes, because Maresca's gone to a club where I don't think Maresca's signing off on all the signings. Chelsea just buying who they want. I think they're going to struggle. I don't think they'll be plain sailing. I think they've got a rough diamond in Cole Palmer there. But now that they've bought Neto, what happens to well, Cole Palmer will probably drift in to play the 10 role, or that's what you think. But then what happens to Nkunku? Because Nkunku plays the 10 role. So I don't know where does Cole Palmer stay on the right, because Neto plays out on the right. You know, what happens to Noni Madueke now? Is he going to lose game time, or is Noni Madueke going to be put out on the left because he's left-footed? But then what then happens to Mikhailo Mudryk? What then happens to Raheem Sterling? Now, at the end of the day, Chelsea have got, and I repeat this again, they have 43 players in their first team squad, and 9 of them are goalkeepers. That is a total mess, if you're asking me. So, you know, good luck to Chelsea. I think they've the club. If people think that that Levy is this, that, and the other, and you know he's done this wrong, that wrong, and whatever. The one thing that you can't accuse Levy of is marginalising players within his team, him or his managers, because what they've done to Chalobah and what they've done to Conor Gallagher is an absolute disgrace. So they wanted to get rid of both of them players. They've now got them training with the youngsters, and they're now saying, right, that they don't fit Maresca's system. Chelsea have been openly trying to flog Gallagher for 2 years. And remember, Gallagher's their captain from last season. Gallagher played 37 out of 38 Premiership games. Gallagher was a mainstay for Chelsea last season, and he was the person that kept Chelsea going last year. But all of a sudden now he's not a Maresca type player. But Chelsea have openly been trying to flog him for 2 years. Chalobah is not a Maresca type player now, but Chelsea have been openly trying to sell him for 2 years because of their PSRs and stuff like that. They need to bring in money for homegrown players. So how Chelsea can turn around and say, you know, that they're not Maresca type players now, but yet they're openly flogging these players 2 years ago, well before Maresca got there, even before Mourinho got there. Sorry, Pochettino got there, because these players were playing under Potter when they were first trying to sell them. So yeah, Chelsea are a mess for me. Like I said, it's interesting, and we'll see what happens. Destiny 5 says he'd take Potts back in a heartbeat. The team suits Potts to the ground. Ryan G says, I heard Forest and Everton were as well, Chris, but that could be a load of rubbish. I don't know what he's talking about there to Chris. Right, what have you said, Chris? Because I must have missed that. If anything, Chelsea will fly off the honeymoon period and fall towards the end. Probably 7th, hopefully 18th, to teach them Chelsea Muppets that this model is a real shit show. Alan says, okay, I'm signed up for the Predictive League. I had created an account but didn't join the mini league. Now I have. Thank you very much, Alan. Leo says it's only a matter of time before those players figure it out. I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't sleep on Chelsea. Andy's system is draining. He wants runners. I'm still trying to catch up with the comment that they're referring to you, Chris. I can't find the comment, but they're all referring to something that was said earlier. AJ says Todd Bowley is like a kid that's had his first sugar hit and just can't stop. Well, that sugar hit has lasted him 2 years so far, AJ, or the best part of 2 years. Managers' contracts don't mean anything. I think they actually do, Chris, because I do now, because managers at Tottenham used to be brought in on 18 months contracts or a 2-year contract. And excuse me, people, it's getting late, right? So, but you knew that the managers weren't going to stay. You knew that they were here for the wrong reasons and they weren't going to stay and stuff like that. But now to give someone a 4-year contract, it's because you must believe in what they're going to do. You must have set up when you take someone on, right, they must be taken on and they must be given key objectives that they've got to meet, and and whatever the objectives are that have been given to Postecoglou, there's a 4-year objective there. You won't bring someone in and give them 1 year's worth of objectives, but then give them a 4-year contract. So the thing about contracts is, I think that they've done well in giving Postecoglou a 4-year contract. I, for one, and I said this last year, I, for one, said that I want to see him, and this is last year before the start when they first offered him, when they first took him on. I said he's been given a 4-year contract. Let him do what he needs to do, and I'd like to see him get his 4 years. And if he does well within them 4 years, then if he's earned the right to have another contract, give him another contract after 4 years. All this like getting rid of people, starting again, rehashing, and that is just a load of crap for me. Some famous people have done some famous things because they were given the opportunity. And not only were they given the opportunity, but they were then backed in the sense that they weren't sacked. And you go back to Alex Ferguson. Man United were absolutely a shit show. They were shambles. They were a really, really poor team. Bad recruitment, poor players came in, and he was on his way out. Got a draw in one game, and then went on to win the cup final. Mark Robbins got the winner, went to win the cup final, and the rest is history. Look, he went on to do big and better things. So, at the end of the day, you got to be careful what you wish for. Sideline says, with the Gallagher deal breaking down, do you think we'll go in for him? I don't know. I really don't know, and the reason why I say that is because I really couldn't tell you who Tottenham are going for, because I don't know. I don't know. We're going to be linked, and not only us, but other teams now as well, with the transfer window only having 20. What are we today? It's going to be the 14th of August tomorrow morning. Or now it's the 14th of August, so it's gone midnight. So 14th, and it closes on the 30th. So we've got 17 days left. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 29, 30. We've got 17 days left. 17 full days left of this transfer window. And at the end of the day, I think lots of clubs are going to get linked with lots and lots of players, and Tottenham will get linked as well. But who it is that we're bringing in, I don't know. So I'm just looking at the news now. You've got Transfer Watch says Tottenham are in talks with Southampton to bring Kyle Walker-Peters back to North London. Negotiations are ongoing, but it's reported that the Saints are asking for a higher fee than Spurs are currently willing to play, and that's coming from Transfer Talk. Last word on Spurs through the Athletic have now said Tottenham's Hotspur's summer transfer business isn't done. Spurs are expected to sign at least one more central midfielder, and Postecoglou wants to sign an all-action number 8 before the deadline. Who's this link come from? Right, it says here, Jonathan David is still on Tottenham's radar as Lille will lose a striker for a free next season. Lille valued David at 42 million euros, but Spurs thinks 25 million they're offering, and David has refused moves to Roma and Chelsea. Will force them into submission. Lille, by the way, I don't know if anyone's been watching, but Champions League qualifiers were tonight. I think it's the third round qualifiers. And obviously Rangers have gone out. They lost at home 2-0 to Dynamo Kiev. So they went out 3-1 on aggregate. But tonight, Fenerbahce drew 1-1 with Lille. So Fenerbahce, for those that don't know, is Jose Mourinho's new team in Turkey. And Lille had a player sent off in the 109th minute. And then Jonathan David scored the penalty in the 118th minute that sent Lille through. So Lille went through for a Jonathan David penalty, and Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce got knocked out of the competition. So yeah, there's not much. Yeah, there ain't much Tottenham talk here at all, is there? Son Heung-min's there with the little fella that we bought from Guangwon. What we got? Ryan G says about points deductions. Do you know if any teams are starting with a points deduction? No, there isn't. Now I heard this morning on TalkSport, they had this chap talking, right, and he was saying, right, that after the COVID, right, all clubs had to present their books, right, and if there was any mitigation, you're allowed to put mitigation in, and it would be down to the Premier League whether to accept it or not. And he said that every team put down mitigation of lost revenue during COVID, right, and they had to balance it out to average it out what they would have got for each game. So that was agreed by the Premier League, right? Also, people that had tours that got cancelled, friendlies that got cancelled, and stuff like that, they ended up being allowed to put that and add that onto their books as mitigation, right? And all clubs did that. But then there was other things that clubs did, right? That a lot of clubs didn't, and the club that got away with the most was Man United. Man United put absolutely everything. They put in for loads of different things, and they got given exemptions for absolutely everything. Had they not been given exemptions, the team that would have been in the worst position for PSR would have been Man United. But they were granted leeway for the exceptions that they put in. And the finance guy basically turned around and said, you know, what Man United did, whether you agree with it or you didn't, they put in loads of different exceptions and they were accepted by the Premier League. Other clubs just didn't do them. They didn't think about doing them at all. And that's why Man United ended up getting away and can do what they're doing at the moment. So no, I don't know anyone that's starting with any deductions. There was talk about Leicester starting with deductions, but I do think that Leicester did a bit of horse trading as well before the 30th of June, sorry, of the 30th of June as well. So therefore, they've done something and they've got away with what they've done as well. So you know what? Like I said to you before, Ryan, if you've heard the shows that I've said recently, I don't believe in PSR, PFI, BBC, ITV, Channel 4. I don't believe in anything anymore. At the end of the day, just do what you got to do. And if you can't do what you got to do, wise up and get the right people to come in and do it for you. Because there's a lot of people that circumvented the wheel there. We just need someone at Tottenham to do it. Anyway, AJ says, by my calculations, Chelsea have not spent about 140 million without the. By my calculations, Chelsea have not spent about 140 million without the sale of Gallagher to offset it, bearing in mind that they were not in a good place with FFP last season. How is this allowed? Because people put in for exemptions, but I don't know who they put them in for, what they put them in for. Jose has never lost a final to Pep, but we sacked him. And Ryan says, I just thought Leicester because they got done last season. I haven't got a clue with it all now, to be honest. And I haven't either. At the end of the day, like I said, it's difficult to keep up with it all. You need to be a physicist in order to try and get even close to understanding how this FFR, FSR, PSP, ITV, Channel 4, how it all works out. You need to be a physician or something because otherwise it don't work out, does it? So, but anyway, what I will say, because I'm going to go to bed, I've got work in the morning, is that with doing the show today, we've now gone up to 32. So these nuts. And who else has just joined? We have someone else who's just joined. Would it be Alan? Rat Dosmanus has joined us. So we've got 32 people now in the predictions in Predict the Prem. And in the fantasy football, have we got any more people signed up? In the fantasy football, we now have. We've got 42 people in the fantasy football. So today's show has grabbed a few people more, which I'm happy about. It's probably the last time, I think, unless I do another short one. Another short one later on this week. I'm trying to think. Today's Tuesday. Predictions starts on Friday in the show at 3:30 in the afternoon that we're doing on Friday. So the only opportunity I've got, probably I might do something quickly on Thursday evening just to see if I can drum up a little bit more. And if I can drum up a little bit more, I'll get some more people to join the leagues on Thursday. And then on Friday, it all starts. It all kicks off. The Premiership kicks off on Friday. Football is back. And whether you support Wolves, like Ryan does, whether you support West Ham like Tony does, and you support Brighton like Grant does, and the rest of us tonight supported Chelsea, then we are all looking forward to it because football starts. Football starts. Grant says you're still going, my man. Stay up with me, Jose. There is no way that I'm staying up. I will probably be getting up by the time you finish, Grant, because I've got work in the morning as well, mate. So, but listen, everyone, thank you very much for joining in. If you haven't done so already, can I ask a favor that you hit the like button? I know you guys are normally good at it, but if you hit the like button, it helps the stream out. So hit the like button on your way out. But yeah, once again, thank you everyone for watching tonight. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for getting involved. Thank you for joining the competitions. And it's never too late. And I will see you all on Thursday. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye.